Welcome to SC Playbook, the EPL edition. The run-in has well and truly begun. City have taken top spot this morning for the first time since back in August. Matt Jurman is alongside me, Alex Molchanoff. What a big week, a defining week in both the Supercoach sphere and on the Premiership table. How did you see it all, Matty? Enjoyed it?
Yeah, no, it's always good to see these big games. When the two teams meet, they're playing for top spot, and I think Arsenal fans will starting to stress now. If they weren't already. Man City obviously winning, and they won again this morning as well. So they've now gone above on goal difference. So it's going to be interesting end to the season now.
It was a big week for you as well because the double game weeks were your last redemption, really, for not having any trades for 3 weeks now. And somehow you've still pulled it out. 163, one of the better scores of the week. The overall rank is still just outside the top 1K, 1.1%, mate. And it was down to one decision which wasn't as important after the game this morning, but Ryan Cherky, captain. What a brilliant goal as well. What a player.
Yeah, and he's coming into form at the right time.
Yeah.
He's an important player for them. He brings a lot of creativity to that Pep team, and it was a great goal. Just such good feet to be able to, deal with that ball in such small spaces and so many defenders around him. I think, probably one of his best goals of his career.
A bit of an old-fashioned player in the way that he's very casual. He's not doing any of the robotic running that players are so often accused of now. And even when there was a little scuffle in the middle of the game, there's footage of him just picking up the ball and having a little juggle. Just loves it. He's just getting around. He played with guys like that are that casual about things.
Yeah. Probably not too many players because they always get involved in the scuffles at least. But sometimes you just got the guys with the technique and flair that just can do some crazy things with the ball, And I think he's one of those players that you don't come around too often. But now that he's at Man City, I think we'll see a lot more of him coming into the future. And I think, Man City will be very happy with the transfer business in bringing him in.
Both of us had Haaland in as well. He gets the early goal against Burnley, this morning, which we were both very happy about. Out-wrestled Gabriel for his goal on the weekend. Back hitting his straps. He's had that little lull, and now he's into the run-in. It's time. He's got a reputation of always turning up in the big games. He's overturned that with the performance on the weekend.
Yeah, no, I think Gabriel would be very pissed off with that. Won't be happy at all. They've always had good battles in the games, and Haaland's got the last laugh, and maybe Man City does now as well.
And we tipped you in. Gabriel on the bench. We said it in the team setup last week.
Sit on the bench, yep.
We both did it, and Haaland has turned up the goods with the trade in this week, and I gave him the captaincy as well. The 4 points between he and Cherky. Either option ended up with you sitting pretty. Bruno Fernandes with another 14 points, a good performance for him personally, but Manchester United falling at home to Leeds, which was disappointing from their point of view. It looks as though Leeds will stay up now. And then Bournemouth, keeping the clean sheet. Didn't keep the clean sheet, but Michael Senesi has 22 over the double game week as well, which was encouraging. Less encouraging, the Chelsea prospects. And the manager, Liam Rosenior, has made way this morning. I think
another Chelsea manager out there.
Well, that's right. 100 days it took him to basically get in there and get out, take his payout, which was well over £4 million by all reports. Well, good work if you can get it.
Not bad for 100 days. Huh?
Exactly right. Are you in the same sort of frame of mind about their players now as I am, that they're consigned to the scrap heap for the remainder of the season?
A new manager comes in, the bounce back game.
Oh, the bounce back, you reckon?
Mate, you never know who they got next.
Their run, so blank game week, you wouldn't be trading for them this week anyway, but then Forest, Liverpool, Spurs and Sunderland is their run in.
Not the worst run home.
I'll tell you now, I am retaining one. I'm not retaining 2 others.
Yeah, I mean, that game against Tottenham, I think they'll definitely want to win that to try and put a nail in the coffin. But, the other games are not so great. I mean, they're playing Liverpool. They're in a bit of up and down form. But Nottingham and Sunderland, that could be anything as well. So, you never know. It depends who they bring in for these last 4 games. But, Yeah, I mean they've got good players. They've just been so shit lately as a team. So it's hard to know what Chelsea's going to turn up.
That's well put. And Cole Palmer not starting again on the weekend. Rossignol saying before he departed that there was some tightness in his hamstring. I mean, what fool's gold he has been this year. A couple of really blowout performances. Yep. I mean, you look at Phil Foden probably in the same category over the course of this run in the middle of the season where he just looked phenomenal. But Palmer, just these injuries. Is he going to get to the World Cup? Who knows? And Joao Pedro nursing a thigh issue as well.
Didn't play both games. Huh?
That's it. I think there's only one name from Chelsea that you can even think about retaining. Cucurella, not delivering. A poor trade or a poor push from us, and he will be consigned out of the team. Well,
7
if you've
points.
got any trades remaining.
Not bad.
Double game. Come on, man. Come on.
For a team that lost both games, I think you'd actually take that. But yeah, you'd expect a lot more from Chelsea against the teams that they played against. I think they definitely were expected to, get a lot more points. And Palmer, I think he was expected to get 18 points. Just didn't even play the second game, and obviously the first game was no good either. So yeah, I can see why people are moving Chelsea assets out, especially with no game this week.
Connor McFarlane is coming in to take over as their interim manager. Felipe Luis is the shortest with the bookies to take over. He's been over with Flamengo. He won the Copa Libertadores with them. So has gone away and done his apprenticeship, basically. Cesc Fabregas sitting second. He's with Como in Italy at the moment. And Frank Lampard is also mentioned by the bookmakers for a third time.
Yeah.
Just been promoted with Coventry this week. So maybe it's all come together, Matty. I don't know.
First time lucky for
Yeah, that's
Lampard.
right. Have you ever seen a manager 3 times and it all works out magically the third time around?
I've seen twice, but not too much 3 times.
Yeah.
So
You played under the same manager twice at the same club? I'm trying to think. I can't remember a time in your career. I know your career fairly well.
I was in Saudi though when there was a Chilean coach who came in.
Yeah.
But he was there the season that just left.
Right.
So he came in like six months later. So some of the boys
He was
had
still
him.
hanging around in Saudi.
Yeah, some of the boys had him, but I hadn't had him yet. And that's but apart from that, it never happened before.
How did that season end up?
We had 4 coaches and nothing really. We didn't get relegated.
Sit in the mid-table.
Didn't win nothing. So it was mid-table. Yeah.
They say the EPL's cutthroat. That sounds different level.
Oh yeah, sacked the coach after 2 games. So. Whole preseason out the window.
Were you starting under him? Was there a change of manager?
Yeah, and then we had Slaven Bilic come in.
Oh,
as well.
okay.
He got sacked as well. Yeah, so it was
What was Slaven like
was
to
a
work
season of
under? I'm
sackings.
indulging myself personally here. What was Slaven like to work under?
very pretty chilled, relaxed.
Right. He
you know,
comes across as quite a intense character.
Yeah, in the team talks he got a bit more fired up, but apart from that, it's pretty relaxed type of guy.
He's doing a bit of punditry once, and they came to him and asked him a question, and he go, to be fair, I don't care.
There you
It's
go.
like, that's not really your job as a pundit. You got to give some sort of insight. Pretend you care.
Well, he got good payout in Saudi, so maybe he was trying to do that. Trying to get sacked, I'm not sure.
So he could go back and work in Saudi again.
He was only there for 4 months, so yeah.
Maybe
Anyway.
he'll be back over there, and Mohamed Salah will have joined him. What did you make of Liverpool's performance over the weekend? First win of the Merseyside derby. I mean, that's something you have forever, right?
Yeah.
That can't be taken away now.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy with that, and he scored in the game as well.
Exactly.
So it was always nice as a Liverpool fan to see him back on the score sheet because it's been a tough season for him, and announcing that he's leaving, I'm sure he'd love to score a few more goals on the way out. So good to see him score in the derby, and I'm sure there's many goals that he'd remember, but maybe his last Merseyside derby goal might be the one.
And the Supercoach players will remember as well. Those that have held Virgil van Dijk this whole way through.
Yeah.
His price up towards 11 mil now on the back of a 100th minute winner. Fantastic scenes there, which sort of got overshadowed by the game that happened later in the day, but worthy of a mention indeed. Anyway, Everton's run opening up. They're going to feature in this next little run. The first question I've got to ask you, Matty, so there's 4 premium midfielders that are sort of taking up most people's thoughts as we get towards this run in. If you have to choose between these 4, and you've only got one, and you've got enough cash for all of them. James Garner at Everton, who I think have got a very good run to the finish line here. West Ham away. They've got the game against City, but then they go Palace, Sunderland, Tottenham. Tottenham might be playing for their lives on that final day, but there's a few little things to throw in there. Jared Bowen's still sitting, scoring reliably, had an 8 over the course of the weekend in that important game for West Ham. They take on Everton this weekend. Harry Wilson, whose form has dropped a little bit. Fulham's run-in is not as straightforward. They get Villa, Arsenal and Bournemouth over the next 3 weeks before games against Wolves and Newcastle to finish things off. And then Morgan Gibbs-White at Nottingham Forest, who has gone from strength to strength this season. I'll forever regret tipping Tim Williams out of him because he has been superb almost since the day I did that. Of those 4, could you put them in a list of priority for you?
I think Garner is just a player that picks up points every week, regardless of who they're playing against. So I actually don't mind the Everton run home. Man City's obviously the hardest one there, and every team that plays against these top teams, Arsenal, Man City, they're wanting to knock them off. Make sure they don't win the title. So there's lots to play for these teams, but especially with West Ham. I think if I was going to bring someone in, probably looking at Bowen, to be honest. Just so much to play for. He's the go-to man for West Ham and their fans, and if I was looking to bring someone in, probably him. Just notching above Garner probably.
Okay, I've got Garner there as well, but I'd actually have Gibbs-White as the second of those options. Hat-trick on the weekend.
Actually, he's playing for a lot as well.
Scored fantastic. Playing well against Burnley. Performed well against Villa the week before as well. I don't know how many watched that full game, and there's people look at football ratings and do that sort of stuff because you can't stay across all 10 games. He was not too bad in that game either against a Villa team that have been trending in the right direction. He's been in good form in Europe. I really like him as someone, if you can afford the premium, and he's right up there, 12.3 mil. It's easy to say the weekend after a hat-trick, but Forest running as well. They have gone from a team that could not buy a goal under Ange Postecoglou to a team that I'm really enjoying tuning in to watch at the moment. They go Sunderland and Chelsea away. It's not the most straightforward. Then they host Newcastle, who just look like shot ducks at the moment. Yep. They look exactly the sort of team to me that are going to worry Manchester United at Old Trafford and Bournemouth at home as well. So I'll put Gibbs-White as the second in that list. Unfortunately, this week, as we'll get to, I am very much shopping in the bargain bin with the players I'm getting rid of and the limited trades. I need guys that are playing till the end of the year. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But let's go to who the guys right up the top. My trade's finally included in this top 5% list this week. We've got up there, Matty. I'm still about 150 odd points behind you, but we're up into the top 5% for the first time this year. Ollie Watkins is top of the most traded in, 7.6 mil. Aston Villa, I mean, they've been the Indian givers at different times this season, but they've got a really kind run in until City on the final day. Liverpool are visiting Villa Park. They don't have a good record there. And they've beaten a lot of the top teams that have come and visit. That game against Arsenal springs to mind when Emi Buendia scored late. But they go Fulham, who are looking a bit on the beach. Tottenham, Burnley, before that game against the Reds. Ollie Watkins, a couple of goals on the weekend. Villa looking as though they're stretching their legs. I do worry slightly that they're going to have this European spot locked up and are going to have focus elsewhere. That would be the one thing I'd say about moving for their assets at the moment.
Yeah, I think people that are bringing in Watkins, they're probably trading out Ekatike.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a straight... even a downgrade option.
What's Ekatike sitting at?
So he's
got that in front of you.
8.6.
Yeah, right.
So he's not going to lose money. So you can trade him out whenever you want. But I think this is the week to get him out if you've got trades. And Ollie Watkins is a great shout. Going to go up in 1.6 actually this week.
Yeah.
So
this is the time.
This is
probably the last time for 1.6 this week. Yeah, last time for owners of Ugo Ekatike. Could you go a like-for-like swap? Could you entertain the like-for-like swap with Salah, or is the one goal not enough to pull you over the line there?
Liverpool got...
Palace this weekend.
Palace, Man United, Chelsea, Villa, Brentford.
Palace this weekend, bad memories at this time of the season.
Very bad. Very bad memories.
Istanbul all over again.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really like Liverpool's fixtures, to be honest.
No.
But they've still got a lot to play for in terms of, getting that Champions League spot, and Salah probably wants to finish the season strong. So I don't mind that trade in for Salah.
More impressed with the performance on the weekend, or was it very much last chance saloon and you throw the big fella up there? And should they have had more out of that game before the goal came late, Liverpool?
Yeah, I mean they've created more chances in this game than they have in previous games, but I think Salah is very hungry to finish the season, finish his career at Liverpool in a strong positive note. So I don't mind either him or Watkins for that striker position.
The other one I've had mentioned to me, and this would be a real point of difference, but as someone who is shopping in the bargain bin this week, I have had to entertain all options.
Yep.
Florian Wirtz is sitting just over 7 mil. The scores have improved. They're not to the level we hoped they might be at the start of the year. Involved enough to give you confidence on the week, Ben. I mean, Gakpo is the one that delivers the assist. Alexander Isak is still far too overpriced for someone who's not even getting through 90 minutes yet.
Yeah, I think he's improving a lot since he come back from injury. He wasn't the same as when he was injured.
Yep.
Like before he got injured, he was in great form.
I'm taking your point. Yeah.
But at the same time, I think there's better trades available.
Options. Yeah. Well said. Declan Rice is down there, 9.5 mil. Neither of us have moved off him through the entirety of the season. No. The base statistics he puts up are just phenomenal. Best in the competition, most consistent, picked every week. Daniel Munoz, 2 full 90 minutes back for Crystal Palace. Going into that game against Liverpool, they are still playing this open, aggressive style. My thought again is that they're going to fall into a place where their priorities are elsewhere with European football, and that potentially means rotation. They've also got the uncertainty of the fixture against Manchester City. We don't know when that's going to fall. It's either going to be game week 36 or 37, we think. But because of the late runs and all the makeups they've got to make, it's keeping me hesitant there. The risk versus reward for 7.4 mil, there's better defensive options out there for me.
Yep.
But I can, The romance is there with Munoz after what he did last season.
Yeah, for sure. And I think if you've got enough money to trade a Cucurella or someone else that's been underwhelming in the last month or so, he could be a good option to bring in. But I mean, I don't know what other options would you be bringing in.
Well, we'll get to that. I've got one. I love the Everton defensive assets. I think their run of fixtures is fantastic, and they've had an injury to Jared Branthwaite, which I think is going to bring Michael Keane into the team, and he's available at just over 6 mil at the moment. Yes, James Tarkowski is the dominant defender there, and if you've got the cash, that's where you should be going. But if you are dipping into the bargain bin, then I really don't mind that as an option. Another one here at a lower price. There's 2 Spurs players we're going to talk about next, which is terrifying stuff.
Yeah.
Pedro Porro, 6.9, got on the score sheet on the weekends. Is going to be picked every week. And I think where we're sitting here with so few players having many trades whatsoever, he could be safer than Munoz. Like, that is the fact of life, that Spurs have got a good run in. Listen to me talking myself into them again. They've got a good run in. They looked vastly improved against Brighton, despite the fact they gave up the lead late, and that was just so Spursy. But hey, maybe this is a guy with a good Supercoach history. If they can turn their form somewhat, why not?
This week is a must-win game.
Yeah, well, we say it every week.
Like, I'm looking at their fixtures, and like, if they don't win this week, it's going to be tough to stay up. Yeah, I mean, the other games could go either way, but I definitely know that Wolves have been relegated. They need a result this week, and I hope they do to make it a bit of an interesting few games left.
Surely Wolves are about the only team on this run-in thinking, actually don't want Spurs to come down with us because it's going to be damn hard to get back up with them occupying one of the 2 automatic spots if that happens. There's a thought out there that every team is extra motivated against Spurs at the moment because they want to send them down because they don't want them regrouping next year. It makes 2026, 27 easier for them.
Yeah, but in saying that, I feel like a lot of players will be leaving. The coach could probably even leave.
That's it.
And, the rebuild might take a long time, actually, for Spurs to come back up. You never know.
5-year deal. He's got to be there.
He's got to have a clause in there, surely.
He's got to be there.
Championship is no.
The other Spurs player who I and others are looking at is a fifth. He's had 35 of the top 5% trade for him this week. Xavi Simons scored on the weekend. He saw the emotion.
Great goal.
You saw the emotion after you're disappointed. Now, usually this would be the sort of trade I would advise so heavily against.
Yeah.
Off the back of one goal and one much improved performance. But he has not looked like a point scorer all year. Spurs have been in the doldrums. He's been a big part of that. He's been playing minutes and still not scoring. But can a goal spark you into life? Can that emotion of 15 minutes be the turning point in your season? And at 5.5 mil, I'm going to be willing to find out, Matty, particularly with the fact that this is the week that you're going to have to play him. And then you can just let him rot on the bench for the rest of the year. He's not someone that is going to have to be starting for you every week after this game against Wolves. That's my thinking. Tell me if I'm crazy.
No, I like it. I think you've got to pick players that have got a lot to play for. And if these Tottenham players think they don't have much to play for, they're going crazy. But yeah, these assets could be top ones to bring in. They're pretty cheap because they've just been losing all season. And Simmons has got a lot to prove as well. He had a big transfer on his head when he came in, and let's be honest, he hasn't really provided the goods. So
hasn't done it at all. His top score before this was a 24 against Brentford back in
a long time ago.
That would have been December.
Yeah.
He's had 2 double-digit scores since then. One of them was against Manchester City at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But I'll read this to you. The list of scores before this week: Sunderland 1, Forest 3, Liverpool 5, Palace 6, Fulham 3, Arsenal 0. Like, that's been his last 2 months. I couldn't warn you further off him if this wasn't the situation at the end of the season for Spurs and the fact they're playing a team that have now had their relegation confirmed. But
he could be their saviour.
Those extenuating circumstances. And it's always the unlucky. You remember the Connor Wickham run he went on for Sunderland when he dragged them out of relegation? Yep. I think Di Canio was coaching them there. There's always one of these heroes down the bottom come the relegation run in.
Is he the one?
I'm willing to find out. I'm willing to find out for 5.5 mil. I can tell you that much. I'll tell you why and what it lets me do defensively.
So you're bringing him in?
I haven't told you that just yet. I haven't told you that just yet.
I'm interested.
You can probably hint at that. Let's go to the last couple and the most traded in. We've actually mentioned a couple of... Enzo Lefebvre, again, off the back of a goal. So he sits in here. Sunderland's run in. They've got Forest. I've been quite impressed by them. I think the motivation is going to run out. But the next 2 fixtures, Forest at home, Wolves away, quite attractive. I think they're going to be high scoring. And I think that could offer him potential to get forward and score. I don't think he's going to be at Sunderland next year. He's really been one of the standouts for me and still young enough to go and make an impact elsewhere. Morgan Rogers with one of the assists for Watkins on the weekend. Still be warning you off him at 6.2.
He scored himself as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So find the extra 1 mil or so. Or not. You could go for him over Watkins at that cut price.
I'd probably go for Watkins.
Yeah. I think if you can find an extra mil, it'd be well and truly worth it. And we've talked through Bowen and Gibbs White with them. There you go. That's who the top 5% are listing as their top 2. So we had them both there, but we both like James Garner as well. Traded out is pretty straightforward because of all the blank game weeks this week. Palmer, I think, is a straightforward one. Joao Pedro's injury has him in there as well. Antoine Semenyo for a similar reason at 8.2 mil. Cucurella, 4.9 mil. Geez, Ekatike's injury Senesi at 9.1, a little bit of an eyebrow raiser, but I think that's people just clearing space. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, after turning up without a goal for Leeds in a game where they scored 2, has left him in that list as well. Right. Let's talk about your team setup, Matty, because we can't talk about any trades, and then I'll talk you through what on earth I'm diving into this week.
Yeah, so I've actually got to have 3 players that aren't playing in my starting 11, unfortunately.
Hey, the explosion of 160 last week, you got to come crashing back down to earth. You can't just breeze through this period without paying for having that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have had Ekatike.
Yeah,
but he's
which
injured.
Doesn't help as well.
Yeah, so then and I've got 2 other ones that are missing. So yeah, no trades this week. I'm just going to stay with the same team.
Fair enough. Who are you So who are you guys that you are sitting? Because
so I mean, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
Who,
sorry, what's your team setup? So take us through the guys that are playing from goalkeeper all the way to up front.
Rayo in goals.
Yes.
Gabriel and Malik Thiol at the back. Then I've got Fernandez, Harry Wilson, Szoboszlai, and Declan Rice.
Okay.
And then Thiago up front by himself.
I'm the same with you in terms of the striking options. I'm going to have Holland and Ryan, who finally came through this morning.
He did.
Gets his goal late on against Leeds for Bournemouth and played superbly. He's going to be at the World Cup for Brazil. We weren't wrong just early. Just like we were on Josh King, by the way. He's had a cheeky little run of form. We can't push him, but he's up to about 7.5 million price with his performances over the last month. I've got Thiago up front. My 2 trades. So I went shopping. I did some maths. And the guys that I wanted to bring in and around that 7-8 mil, I just can't be sure they're starting. It's as simple as that. So if we have a look at undoing some of these, Keenan Dewsbury Hall for Everton, I don't know that I'm going to get the output, to be honest. And at the moment, I don't think he's been playing 90 minutes regularly, which worries me. And the scores have started to decline somewhat. Did manage to get an assist in the game against Liverpool, goal against Brentford the week before.
Not a bad option. I don't hate it. Everton fixtures aren't too bad.
Maybe you could sway me somewhat. Beto's now injured after that game against Liverpool as well. Yep. I'm more sure about what they're going to do defensively. So I'm going to put that cash towards Michael Keane and him starting. This could flip. I could see their starting lineup on Sunday at midnight against West Ham and go, actually, I'm going to flip this. And I go the Dewsbury Hall route and bring in some very, very cheap defender. But at the moment, I'm looking at Michael Keane comes in, sitting alongside Tarkowski, and we pay the price to take the risk and the ride with Xavi Simons. So nice. I don't mind it at all. Palmer and Cucurella coming out. I'm holding Enzo Fernandez because I think he's running around trying to get a transfer to Real Madrid, basically. And I quite like sticking with players that are playing for a contract at the end of the year or a transfer in his case. I don't mind that at all. The other main setup decision I've got to make this week is Fernandez or Raya in goal. Martinez, sorry. Or Raya in goal.
That's the only problem I've got with my lineup. But I feel like Arsenal at home, surely they're due for a clean sheet.
And it's the Newcastle form going the other way. And I know other teams are lifting against Arsenal at the moment, but Newcastle just looks shot. They can't put passes together. Kumarai's falling out of that team has just completely left them devoid of any confidence. They don't have any players. The 2 guys they signed to play up front, Visser and Voltemata, who actually owned for a little while earlier in the season, have just not been able to get in the team because they're not playing well enough when they have been playing. For Eddie Howe, there's questions about his future at Newcastle as well.
Yep.
I like Raya in goal this week to the point where I'm even thinking about captaining Gabriel. Like it's to that level of sort of what's going on. We having all these outs means we have an easy captaincy loop. So you can talk me through who you're thinking for vice captaincy and captaincy. Arsenal playing the Sunday 2:30 game, so it's going to be a late night if you do want to loop there. But Bruno Fernandes taking on Brentford at Old Trafford has caught my eye as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be those last 2 games that I'll do the vice captain and captain in. I'm looking at Declan Rice into either Thiago or Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, I like that. I think I'm going to go Gabriel on the vice. I think he's going to be angry and fired up and maybe get himself on the score sheet as well.
Hopefully he doesn't get sent off.
And then, it's a double-edged sword. And then Fernandes wearing the captain's armband, the loop option available through that one player, Erling Haaland, who's sitting there not going to score this week. Disappointing, but you can't have it all. One trade remaining for the Bollywood boys, so I'll be joining you in that stable of no traders left in a week's time. Matty Jurman, thank you very much for your company.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. And hopefully a lot of goals this weekend. And Arsenal, let's see if they're going to bounce back. Looking forward to seeing that. And Spurs, if they can get a win in Wolves.
So big Saturday night of Premier League action. All kicks off at 9:30 with that early kickoff between Fulham and Aston Villa. We've actually got a Friday night game over in England. So Saturday 5 a.m. kickoff, Sunderland Forest, which has some subplots there. Don't know if I'll be getting up for that one, but certainly we'll be sat in front of the television for Fulham, Aston Villa on Saturday night, all the way through to Arsenal, Newcastle early that morning. We've got 2 FA Cup ties, Manchester City taking on Southampton and Chelsea taking on Leeds on Sunday evening our time. Sunday morning our time is that first game, between City and Southampton, and then Chelsea Leeds on the Monday night at midnight. Enjoy your football, Matty. Best of luck to MacArthur going into their last game of the season. Yep. We'll chat to you after that. To everybody out there, thank you for your support as always. Remember, head to scplaybook.com.au. Harry West, Steve Nikolovsky are going to have their thoughts up there for just $2 a week. All you need to do, scplaybook.com.au. All the NRL content, which I know Matty's following very closely at the moment as we get into round 8 as well. All that good stuff is available. Go and find it. Go and find us next week. We'll be back for a Wednesday, Thursday record. Pretty regulation week in Supercoach world in the EPL. But for now, goodbye.